This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So in the last class, we have started seeing of your classical report events. Under this, we have seen about your what is your load of program, what is your initialization, what is the start of selection, what is end of selection, what is top of page, and what is end of page. And in today's class, we are going to see the selection screen validations as well as the selection screen interactions. So the first one is the selection screen validations. So under in the selection screen validations and interactions, we do have 5 sub events. What are those? One is selection screen on field. Selection screen on field on particular field. Next, at selection screen. Sorry, this is at selection screen on particular field. Next, at selection screen, and then the third one is at selection screen on value request for value request for, and the fourth one is at selection screen on help request for, and the last one is at selection screen output. So these are the 5 sub events what you will be having under your selection screen validations and your interactions. Now, this event is used to validate single field, single field in your selection screen, in the selection screen. So if you want to validate on one single field, then we are going to use this selection screen on field. Let me go to my SC38 and let me open the program. So this is what the program we are trying to open it. So I have 2 fields. One is P underscore VKO RG and one is S underscore VKO RG. Now what I need to do, I need to go ahead and create a validations on this. So where we have to write your validations. The validations will be written after your initialization. So after your initialization and before the start of selection. So all the selection screen validations and interaction events we will write after the initialization and before the start of selection. Now, my requirement is I want to validate the P underscore VKORG field. I want to validate. That means whether the user has passed the right data in that particular field or not, I want to validate it. So now, as I'm going to validate on one single field, what is the event I need to use at selection screen on P underscore VKORG. So this is what we used to write it. This is what we used to write it. Now, so the next thing is on which table. So we need to check whether the data whether the data whatever the user is entered is there in the database or not. So what we need to do, we have to see if the data is available in the database or not is what we have to see it. So to see this, we need to do, we need to write a select query. Write a select query. So on which table we need to go ahead and write the select query. Always remember that whatever the value table, whatever the value table which is maintained in the domain on that we have to write the validation. So this is what you have to always remember when you're writing the when you're doing a data validation. So on the domain, whatever the table, because whatever the table which we are going to maintain in the domain is going to be the master table, is going to be the main table or your master table. So that for that reason we have to always write on this. So now if I go to my VKO RG, and now if I go to my VKO RG under the value range, what is the domain that is maintained? It's TVKO. If you open this TVKO, you will be seeing only one key field, which is on your VKO RG. So this is what. So now you have to see, you need to write the what query we need to write. We need to go ahead and write your select single. So I have told you. So because we are going to pass my key field in my where condition, so it will be going to get a unique record. It is going to get a unique record. So for this, what I'm going to write, select single VKO archie from tvko into at the rate data of lv underscore vko archie or gv underscore vko rg or vko rg1, where vko rg is equal to at the rate p underscore vko rg. So that's it. So now if how can we know whether we have received the data or not? If psi sabasi is not equal to 0, then what we need to do, we need to go ahead and, so if psi sabasi is not equal to 0, we need to display a information message. So we need to display an information to the user that that it's an invalid sales org. So the whatever the user, whatever the sales org which we have provided is an invalid. How can you do that? So in order to do this, we have a concept called as messages. So messages. So what is this? These are used to display some in some text text to the user. So how you are going to display that? In SAP, messages has been categorized into four, into five. Messages has been categorized into five types. One is E, the second one is W, the third one is I, and the fourth one is yes, and the fifth one is A. One is A. So the next, what is this? E stands for your error. E stands for your error, and W stands for your warning, and I stands for your information. S stands for your success, and A stands for your abort, about the machine. So like that. So stop it. So these are the things. So messages. So now how to display a message? How to display a message? To display a message, we will be writing message, and you have to provide whatever the message you want, the text of the message, and then you have to say uh, type, what is the type of the message. So whether it's an error or warning or information or success or abort. This is how you will be displaying, and this has also needs to be in your single quotations. Single quotations. So this is how you will be displaying your message. This is how you will be displaying your message. Just Okay. So now I want to display an error message. So what is the message I need to do? Message invalid, or I can say sales order, sales organization, sorry, is not a valid. Sales organization is not a valid one. And type, and what is how I need to display? I want to display this as error. I want to display this as error. Now when I say my pretty printer, when I check this and when I activate the code, so now when I click on execute, if I go ahead and say some dummy one, and now when I click on enter, see here sales organization is not a valid. See, you will be getting a message over here. Or if I say this as an information message, okay, sorry. If I say this as a warning message, now when I activate this one, and now when I click on execute, if I provided a wrong over here, and now see here, you will be getting a warning message. You will be getting a warning message. But as it is a warning, it can able to ignore that one. So I stands for your information. It will be showing you in a form of your box. It will be showing you in the form of your box. See, sales organization is a not a valid. Now, if I go back and if I show this as success, it will be showing you in your green color. So depends upon the type of your message you want to display. You will be just going to display that message over here. Now, if I want to say it as abort, it will just come out from your program. So A stands for your abort. See, you will be seeing an exit command directly. Exit command. When I click on this, it will directly come out from your program. So abort is nothing but so completely wipe off that machine or completely come out from that program. So that's called as. So now I am going to display this as an error message. Now, for example, now, this one, what we need to do, so in real time, the hard codings we should not provide. We have to replace that with your text element. So this I have told you at the starting of your programming. When we are seeing at the starting of your programming under your write statements, I have told you that we have to always use your text elements. We should not use your hard coding. So now what I have to do, I'll just say 001. So now when I double click on this, yes, it will go ahead and create your text elements automatically. I'll activate my report text and report source code. So now when I come back, so now my this thing is created. Now what I need to do, I'll go ahead and let's say I want to show my p underscore whatever the value you have entered also. Whatever the value you have entered also, I want to display that one. So now I'll just say p underscore vkorg, vkorg, vkorg. So now this is what I want to display it. Now I'll just say click on execute and execute. Now whatever the value you have provided, see here, you will be getting SKDC. So whatever the value you have provided. Let's say, for example, I want this message. So see, we can use the sales organization at multiple places in your at different programs. Now in all those programs, I want the unique message to be displayed. I want the unique message. I don't want a different kind of messages. So I want to display an unique message. So how can you do that one? So to do that one, to print unique message, unique message in all the programs, we have to store this messages. We have to store this message at some place and we need to call these messages. We need to call these messages. So we need to call this message whenever we required. So to do this, we will have a concept called as your message class. We have a concept called as your message class. This is used to store all your messages. So the transaction code is SE91. The transaction code is SE91. So in real time, in real time, real time, we will create a message class for uh, for module specific, a module specific. Like your HD, you will be having something called as either ZHD or ZOTC, like that. So how you are going to create for your package, you will also create a message class for your module specific. How to create that? Let me go to /o SE91. So see here, you will be entering into your message classes. So now I'll just go ahead and add a message class Z7am 2023. I'm just going to create this message class. So we will be just going to provide the module here. As of now, 7am 2023 is my module. Let me click on create. So you have to provide your short text message class for Z, sorry, for 7 a.m. batch. I'm just going to say 7 a.m. batch. So now I'm just going to click on your messages. It will ask you your package. Just provide your package as well as your TR. Now you will be entering into your messages where you have to provide your all your messages. So how many messages you can provide? By default, we can able to provide 999 messages. In message class, we can provide 999 messages. We can just provide 999 messages, not more than that. Remember it. So if let's say, for example, under your ZOTC, all your 999 messages are completed, then you will be creating with ZOTC1, ZOTC2, like that. But usually I never seen one has been created. So it will be only more than 200 messages or 300 messages, that's it. So at max 300 to 400 custom messages you will be seeing it, not more than that, not more than that. Okay, so there are so many standard classes are also available in standard message classes are also available in SAP. One of the most important standard class we will use is 00. When I say click on display, you can see almost like everything. So if you have the standard message class, go ahead and use your standard message class, or else we will be going ahead and creating your custom message classes. Okay. So SAP, when it is processing, well, while it is executing any transaction, and if you are providing any wrong details, it will be throwing you a message from the standard classes. So as of now, we are going to create your custom class. Now let me click on change. I'm going to say here invalid sales org. Now I'm just going to save it. We don't have any activation over here. You just need to save it. Now, how to call your message? Now we are going to see how to call the message. How to call the message class. So in order to call your message class, we will just say message uh, message. You have to provide the message number, and then you need to open the brackets, the circular brackets, and provide the message class, whatever the message class you have. That's it. That's it. So this is how you have to provide. So message. So type of the message also you have to provide the type of the message. the type of the message, and then you need to provide your message number, and then you need to provide your message class. Now I'm just going to provide this message. So what is the type of message I want to provide? Error. So you don't need to provide over here in single quotations, but when you are doing it over here, you just need to provide everything in your single quotations. But as you are going to read from the message class, you don't need to provide for the type of message in your single quotation. So now what is the message number? 000, and then you have to provide your message class. So this is what my message class is. I'm just going to copy it. I'm just going to paste it over here. That's it. Now I'll just go ahead and and comment this one. Now let me check this. Let me activate here. Now when I click on execute, and when I say different thing, see here, you will be getting an invalid sales organization. You will be getting an invalid sales organization. Now, I want to provide whatever the sales organization that is that you have entered in your message. Over here, what you have do, we have done your concatenation and we have shown you that thing. But here we are going to read it from your message class. How can you do that one? So to do that one, so whatever the input values you have to provide, that has to be provided with ampersand. With ampersand. How many ampersand we can able to provide? We can able to provide max to max 4 ampersands. 4 ampersands. We can provide max to max 4 ampersands, not more than that. If I go to a structure SE11, so you will be seeing the structure at a later point of time. BAPI ret2. So BAPI written. So written structure. So you can see here message 1, message V2, message V3, and message V4. So these are all your this ampersand values. These are all your ampersand values. So you can maximum provide and with the 4 ampersands only. Remember that. Now this ampersand you have to replace it in your code. So let me go ahead and save this one first of all, and how you are going to write that one. So to do that, you will be writing with, and you have to provide your value, whatever the value you want. Value 1, value 2, value 3, and your value 4. So this is how you have to provide it. Now here, how many value have? As I have only 1 ampersand, you have to provide only, you can only provide one value with P underscore VKORG. So that's it. Now when I activate the code and when I click on execute, if I'm going to provide a wrong value over here, and now see here, invalid sales organization, single quote KCBS. So now let's say, for example, I have 30 selection screen variables, 30 to 40 selection screen variables. Every time I have to provide my message class. Can I put this message class at one place and can I use that one? Yes. So to do this, you just remove the message class over here, and at the starting, you have to replace with a concept called as message ID, and you just provide your message class. You just provide your message class. That's it. Now check this and activate the code. That's it. So now when I click on execute, so it will directly read the contents of that message class at the starting itself. At the starting itself, it will just go ahead and read the contents of your message class. Now, you can also ask me a question. So I have used a common message class over here. After the message, can I pass message class B? Message class B. I have used a common message class A, but for one single message, I want to use a message class B. Is that possible? Yes, you can just go ahead and provide that one too. No issues. After this, just provide your message class. That's it. So when you are providing a message class over here, SAP will give you the preference to this. If you are not providing it, then SAP will give you the preference to this one too. this one. So this is all about your message classes. This is all about your message class, and at selection screen on P underscore VKO, I mean at selection screen on particular field. Now, what is the issue with at selection screen on P underscore VKO RG or at selection screen on particular field? So when I pass a wrong input over here, when I pass a wrong input over here, see here, SAP will gray out all the other fields in your selection screen. Until and unless you have rectified this one, you can't able to provide the other values. You can't able to provide the other values of your selection screen. So the same example, if you have 30 fields, after two fields, when I say enter, when I say enter, the remaining 28 fields you can't able to enter it. So that's the issue. To overcome this, what we have done with at selection screen. At selection screen. So this event is mainly used to validate multiple fields. Is used to validate multiple fields in the selection screen. So now when I activate this one, and now when I click on execute, if I provided a wrong value over here, see, it will throw you an error, but it will allow you to change the other values of your selection screen too. It will throw you an error, but it will allow you to change the other values of your selection screen too. So that's the main reason when you are doing the validations, we'll always use at selection screen only. We will never ever use at selection screen on particular field. At selection screen on particular field, because of the issue what we have seen, it will just gray out the other fields of your selection screen. To avoid that, we will be always using your at selection screen. Now, the next event we are going to see is at selection screen on help request for P underscore. So what is this? Before we go ahead with this, what is the theory behind this at selection screen on your help request? So this is used to provide an F1 help, F1 help to the user, to show the technicalities of that particular field. So I have shown you somewhere F1. So to store the technicalities of that field. So what is the data type? What is the how much length, and what is its data element, and everything you can able to see that one. So now when I say activate this code, and when I click on execute, and when I say F1, so see here, it is showing the standard. If I go to the technical information, you can able to see what is the table name. So we have just provided that VKO RG, and what is the data element, and what is your selection screen value. Everything it is going to show you that one, the technical information. So now from where we are going to get this notes, from where we are going to get this notes, can someone can tell me? From where we can get these notes? From where SAP is determining these notes? So from the data element what you have maintained. If I go here to SE11, if I go to VKORG, let me click on display VKORG. Let me click on display. You will be having something called as documentation. So see here, the same thing. An organization is responsible, organizational unit is responsible for the sales of certain product. So now this performance assistance or the information will be get from the documentation which we will be maintaining in your domain. If you have not maintained any documentation in your domain, then you are not going to get this when you click on your F1. When you click on your F1, then you're not going to get this one. So for example, let's say the documentation is not available for my VKO archie field. For example, let's say this. So now I want to provide a documentation. So to provide the documentation in your program, we will be using this at selection screen on help request for. At selection screen on help request for. How can you do that one? So now help request for at the rate p underscore vkorg. So how you're going to do that? So I'm just say message kindly provide the sales organization value. Kindly provide the sales organization value. I'm going to take this as type information message. So from I will be writing like this, but when you're practicing it, so I would always suggest you to go ahead and create your message classes, and all the message classes go ahead and deployed in your message class, and call your message class in your programs. Call your message classes in your programs. Now let me activate this one and let me click on execute. And if I say F1 over here, see here, it's just providing the information what you have provided. It's just provided the information message what you have provided. It has wiped off your standard. So this is what your week. This is all about your at selection screen on help request for. Now, the next event we are going to see is at selection screen on value request. At selection screen on value request. So this is used to provide the F4 help. F4 help to the user. F4 help. So for example, let's say my requirement is my requirement is I want to provide the I want to download or I want to upload. I want to download or upload a file from my local machine. So now when I want to upload it, so I need to see when I go ahead and say, for example, what I will do. So Word to PDF. Let's go ahead and do this one. So I'm just going to convert my Word to PDF. Now when I click on this select Word file, it will opening your personal computer, right? Local machine. I want to open this the same pop-up from my SAP system. From my SAP system. How can you do that one? So that it can able to get, so let's say for example, this is the one. So if I click on open, so it has store the path where the file is available. Now in same way, the in SAP also I want to provide that path. How can you do that one? So for this, let me go ahead and create one more thing. P underscore upload or P underscore download type. As I don't know the length, so the path length we don't know. What is the length of your path? You can't able to determine that one. So as we don't know the length, what I am going to provide, I'm going to provide this as your string. So string is a continuous one. String is a continuous one. So till it will accept until 102, sorry, 2048 characters. 2048 characters, it will go ahead and accept with the help of your string. As I don't know how much the path will be, so I'm going to use this one. So now when I click on execute, sorry, I forgot to activate this one. Now when I click on execute, now see here you are getting an F4 help. Here also you are getting an F4 help. But see here you doesn't have an F4. So now I want to assign a F4 help. So how can you do that one? To do that, so I'm going to provide this at selection screen on value request for p underscore down. So now when I say, if I go ahead and keep a breakpoint And now when I click on activate, and when I click on execute, now you can see here a F4 help has been came up. When I just say click on this one, see here my ABAP debugger has been my ABAP debugger has been shown. My ABAP debugger has been shown. So this is how you have to provide an F4 help. So how to open your computer or your local machine. So to open your local machine, we have a function module, because see the opening of your local machine code will be unique in across all the programs. So the unique programs, what the unique piece of code what you are having, so we will be creating a function module, or we will be creating a subroutine. We'll be creating a function modules, or we'll be creating a subroutines. So that's called as your modularization. So maybe tomorrow we are going to see at selection screen output. After that, we will be going to start it with your interactive reporting. Then we are going to start it with your modularization. Okay. So now, as of now, we have not seen your modularization and your function modules, but we have the unique code. So we have the common code, I would say, the common code. So this common code SAP has placed in a function module. In a function module. What is that function module? So we will be using something called as F4 underscore your file name. F4 underscore your file name. There are so many other function modules also are available, but this is the most common function module which we will be using. There are so many function modules are also available. I'm not saying that we don't have it. We have so many other function modules are also. Now let me click on enter. Now here, so you will be for every function module, you will be having the parameters which are nothing but your input values as well as your output values. Input values as well as your output values. So the exporting are nothing but your inputs. The importing are nothing but your output. So now, for example, you are going to export the rice to US. So rice will be gets importing. So what US is asking? US is asking India to send some rice. So the input for US is rice. But so this is what, so the exporting is nothing but your input value. So we are going to export the rice to US, and US is going to import it. So India is a function module right now. So India function module, what is the input? Rice is the input for your India function module. And what we are going to deliver, we are going to deliver the rice only, again the same thing. So here, so if I go ahead and see the exporting, so these values are the importing to your function module. So it's a vice versa. It's a vice versa. So the input values will be passed in the exporting. The output values will be passed in the importing. We are going to export these values to your function module, and we are going to receive the values from your function module. So now here you have to provide P underscore your down L. So now when I say pretty printer, and now when I activate this code, and when I click on execute, if I say F4, it will go for your runtime error. It will go for your runtime error, which is nothing but your mismatch or type conflict. So what is this type conflict error? So whatever the value you have provided is not equal to the type that is there in your function module. So here, what is the value we have provided? We have provided it as your string. But internally, when you go ahead and see this, this has a different one. This has a different one. You just need to copy this and come back and replace with your string. So you just need to copy this. So remember that always you have to provide the types what is there inside your function module for all your importing as well as your exporting parameters. Whatever the types that are available. So what is the type? what is the type. So whether it's a cat 20, whether it's a cat 20, you have to provide it as cat 20. Whether it's a data element, the same data element you have to provide it. Whether it's a type, whether it's a table hyphen structure or sorry, table hyphen field or structure hyphen field, the same reference you have to provide it over here, the same reference. Then only SAP will go ahead and allow you to allow us to do that, or else it will always show you that as your type conflict error. So now when I say execute it, when I just say click on F4, it will open your computer. And now if I go here, let me select this, any of this one. So let me select this one. So that's it. See here, automatically the link will be populated. Automatically the link will gets populated. This is how we will be using at selection screen on value request for. Okay, so now the last and the final event is at selection screen output. So to showcase this, we need to tell you about your parameters and radio checkbox, sorry, the checkboxes and your radio buttons. So that we are going to showcase that in your tomorrow's session. So that's the end of today's session. Before I signing off for today's session, any other questions? Any questions, guys?
No, Ravi.
Okay, I'll be considering it as no questions. So I'll be adding the message classes notes in your drive. You can just go ahead and watch that again. Yeah, that's it. So that's all for today, and we'll meet you tomorrow again, and we'll continue with our session. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.